Good evening. We're here tonight to talk about the program called Tucker Turtle. It is a very well-known and very widely used program to help children learn to manage their anger and frustration. It was originally developed by a Vanderbilt Education Society, and they have made it accessible for free to anyone who is interested in using it or offering it as a program. So tonight it will be just an overview because it is a program that's designed to be offered in weekly sessions for 5 to 6 weeks so that we can build on the skills that the children, or help the children build on the skills that they're learning week to week. It is a very hands-on way of helping children learn how to handle and deal with their anger and frustration, and to catch them right at the moment, giving them the skills to learn how to stop, take some breaths to calm down, and help, and then eventually help them to learn to find a solution. So it starts off the first week. We start off with a story, and that story is going to stay with us from week to week, and we repeat it every week. And there are variations of the story that you can also access. For instance, the original story, Tucker Turtle, is written about a Tucker at school and getting along with his friends. But there's also been an adaptation made to Tucker Turtle learns how to tuck at home. And that's the one that we'll look at tonight. And there's also a variation of Tucker Turtle when Tucker Turtle gets too excited, he takes time to tuck and think. So those are other options that are available out there as well. So the Vanderbilt Education Society is not, their website is not active anymore, but you are able to access all of the Tucker program on the Challenging Behavior web. Well, what is Tucker the Turtle? Or should I say, what is Tucker Turtle program? I tend to say Tucker the Turtle, but it's actually just Tucker Turtle, sorry. So it is actually a philosophy-based approach to helping children in difficult situations. And that philosophy is that if we give the children tools, they can learn to self-regulate, okay? So it's originally was designed to help children learn anger management skills, and you'll see that when we read the story. Tucker gets angry in the story, but we all know that frustration does lead to anger, right? Or it often manifests as anger as well. So it's easily transferable to the wider theme of self-regulation. Simply saying that Tucker Turtle technique, so think like a turtle is the tagline, is a tool or a set of tools that will help the child learn to self-regulate in all areas, okay? It consists of 3 main steps, and the program is designed to be tailored to the needs of an individual or a group. So there is actually an editable version, and you are encouraged to later on in weeks 4, 5, and then the last week of 6, encouraged to write the story for your student or for your child and put personalized experiences in there. And you'll see as we read the story, Tucker Turtle has a specific issue and he reacts a specific way, but we can change that up. We can say, you know, Jimmy rather than Tucker. Jimmy the boy was at school, and rather than getting frustrated with his friends for not sharing, he can He can get angry with his friends for not letting him play, for instance. So by making it more personal, and even to the point of putting photos of your student or your child into that story, it makes it more relatable for the child and easier for them to put themselves in that position, thinking about the time that they were feeling that way. And helps them to remember those tools when they are actually feeling frustrated or angry. Okay, so why would we use Tucker Turtle program? Why would we take the time to participate in a 5 or 6 week long program with our child? Well, because it gives children tools to start their own problem solving. And rather than coming to you every time there's a problem or acting out because they don't know how to handle a problem, you're giving them those tools to be able to handle those problems themselves. That makes everybody's life easier, and it makes life happier for everyone as well. Okay, it's been proven to work. It's been around for many, many years. It's been being used internationally throughout the United States and Canada, at the very least. It's been successful, and so that's enough reason for it to continue to be used. Local children, this is a comment from the behavior support team from Community Living, say that local children who were exposed to Tucker Turtle while in childcare have been noted to use it in school and at home. So they're taking those skills and they're able to apply them in all areas of their life. And it's fun and engaging. You're encouraged to use puppets, kind of in place of a little role play for the children. In other sessions, we've talked about how puppets can facilitate children being able to express themselves, and also they're able to put themselves in the place of that puppet, because it's not an actual person. As a fictional character, they can think about themselves in that position a little easier. Okay, so what are the 3 main steps of Tucker? And that's all it is. There's 3 main steps. Are step 1, stop. So in the moment, when you're angry, when you're frustrated, and this is when we're asking children to think like a turtle, think like Tucker, we want to stop before we act. Okay, next we want to tuck inside, and that's where the turtle puppet is so useful, because we can actually tuck his head inside of his shell. And so when we're talking about tucking for children, they obviously don't have a shell they can tuck their head in, but there are different ways they can tuck themselves. They can cover their face. They can tuck inside of a shirt or a hoodie, or they can go somewhere where they feel like they're closed in and they have a little bit of private space. Tuck inside and take 3 deep breaths. Learning to take deep breaths and practicing taking deep breaths is a big part of Tucker program. And then step 3 is think. So step 1, stop. Step 2, tuck inside. Step 3, think. Think of a possible solution. And so there are also tools that that we will give the kids to help them find a solution for themselves, because it doesn't come naturally to a child to find a solution. They need to learn those skills as well. Okay, so this is the kind of the bare bones of the Tucker program. The the most important point to the adult in the situation helping a child to remember the Tucker Turtle process and use it is for us to remain calm. Okay, they need that calm energy to help them, and also to be able to listen to you. If you're presenting the Tucker technique in the moment calmly, then it is easier for them to use. The Tucker program is offered to adults and children together so that they're learning these tools and they're learning this process together. And so as the child is developing the skills, the adult is helping the child along the way. So in a sense, they are together learning how to manage those emotions, okay? So we're going to stop in the moment, remind the child to think like a turtle. They've learned what Tucker Turtle does and how he does it in that kind of education setting when we're teaching about the program. But then in the moment when we're using the technique, it's up to us as the adult to stay calm and to remind them what are the 3 steps and how do we get through this, okay? It's important as adults that we remind our children how to use the steps by practicing, and practicing when we're not in a high state of emotion. We also want to prepare our children for situations where they possibly may feel frustrated or angry. We want them to consider that situation before they get there so that they're prepared. For instance, talking about going to the park this afternoon before we're heading out to the park and saying, you know, so what would happen if we get to the park and there are no swings available? What if all of the swings are being used? How do you think we can handle that? And what do you think some solutions are to not being able to use the swings when we get there? And in that sense, preparing the child for the frustration, anger, or disappointment of the event before it happens, and helping them to find some solutions before we get there. And that's the preventative method to handling those emotions, right? And then we also have to always remember to take note of and praise children for when they are handling their emotions well, for taking the time to think of a solution rather than acting out, even for considering what kind of solutions they could use before they go, because that is hard work. That is difficult for children sometimes to think of a solution, right? And finally, all of the adults involved in a child's life, parents, caregivers, teachers, should all be aware of Tucker Turtle techniques, the methods that you're using, and try to use it with the child just for consistency across the board. So there's a couple of things I'd like to show you, tools that will go along with the Tucker Turtle technique, and also the story of Tucker Turtle taking time at home. So we'll go through the story briefly. And like I say, these are available online. They're available on YouTube. and they're available at the challengingbehavior.org website for you to print or watch on the YouTube channel. And our story, let me just share the screen. Tucker Turtle takes time to tuck and think at home. So Tucker Turtle is a scripted story. Any of the versions that you use will be scripted, but the most efficient way of using the stories are to tell the story as opposed to simply reading the story, and maybe asking questions of the children in how do they think Tucker is feeling, or how do they think the friends are feeling, to make it more interactive than just simply reading the words off of the page, right? So it is a scripted story, and it is written by Rochelle Latini, Lindsay Giroux, and Mary Louise Hemeter. And you'll see here the website that I printed this off of, okay? So Tucker Turtle is a terrific turtle. He lives with his family in a small pond. Sometimes things happen that make Tucker really mad. So mom's saying it's time to stop playing and get ready for dinner. That makes Tucker mad. Or his friends are saying, you can't play with us, and that makes Tucker mad. And this is a good time to ask your child, what are some things that make you feel really mad? You know, it used to be when Tucker would get mad, he would hit, kick, or yell at his family and friends. And his family and friends would be scared and sad. Tucker now knows a new way to stay calm when he gets mad. He can stop yelling, and he can keep his hands and his body to himself. So here's step one. He stops. He can tuck inside his shell and take 3 deep breaths to calm down. And so part of the program is learning those breathing techniques. And we'll talk about those a little bit more later. But basically, we want the child to take a deep breath in through their nose, filling up their belly with air, and then a long breath out of their mouth, and letting their stomach count come back down. 3 deep breaths. After 3 breaths, Tucker can then think of a solution to solve his problem. So after he's taken those breaths, he's calmed himself down, and now he can start to think. When Tucker stops and thinks, his body is calm and feels better. When he uses gentle touches and kind words with his family and friends, they feel happy and safe. Tucker's family practices stopping and thinking together using Tucker's new way to calm down. So this story, like I mentioned, is Tucker at home with his family. The original version is Tucker at school with his friends. And it's very simple to simply switch out Tucker Turtle for Little Jimmy, or Tucker gets angry when Mom calls to go for supper, to changing it to Jimmy gets angry when Mom says he has to go take his bath. Okay, so those are ways to personalize the story and make it more meaningful for your child. So these are the steps of practicing to think like a turtle, recognizing your feelings, and stopping your body. So all of this work we've been doing on talking about emotions and recognizing their emotions and self-regulation, this all comes down to, a lot of it comes straight from Tucker Turtle, right? Same idea. So step 2, stop your body. Now this is a little confusing, I realize, because I had said there are 3 steps: stop, tuck, and think of a solution. And I apologize for that. It is a 3-step technique. It's just the approach that this story, or sorry, this version of the storybook says. Step 3, tuck inside your shell and take 3 deep breaths. And step 4, come out when you're calm and think of a solution. So there are some little tips of how to practice tuck or turtle, how to practice the turtle technique with your child. So practice tucking like a turtle while they're calm. Getting practice with that activity and with handling emotions that way while they're calm will help them remember what to do when they're frustrated or angry. So throughout the day, make time to practice taking 3 deep breaths. As simple as that, just taking 3 deep breaths. It helps them to realize how that makes their body calm down, and also it will be there when they need to do the 3 deep breaths, and it'll be easier to remember. So model using these calming steps when your feelings are strong. And like we have talked about before, modeling self-regulation, modeling identifying your emotions, modeling taking time out to calm yourself is the best tool for your child to learn how to self-regulate. Practice these steps frequently during routines. Again, the more we practice, the easier it is to remember when we're in need. So use the cue cards on the next page when practicing the steps, and we're going to just flip to that in a second. Prepare for and help your child handle possible disappointment or change by reminding them to tuck and think like a turtle when they feel angry and mad. Reminding them when you know that these feelings of anger or disappointment come up, puts that thought in their head that they may need to use the turtle technique. Offer a lot of encouragement when they use the steps. Comment positively when they stay calm, and help all family members know this technique. So then the last step is thinking of a possible solution. And this does not come naturally to children necessarily. And thinking of a possible solution that is doable. Okay. That's a whole other issue sometimes. So there are some problem-solving wrist cards that I'm going to show you a little bit later on. So here are our cue cards, the turtle technique. And if you can post this in your classroom, in the playroom, it's just a gentle reminder to the child of the steps to the turtle technique. Okay. Here we have the solution cue cards. So often what we would recommend to a classroom or childcare setting, when you have not necessarily have one-on-one with the child and they need to be able to access those tools without a parent being right nearby, is to print out these cue cards, and we can see what some of the solutions are. Get an adult or get a teacher, right? Asking nicely, asking please stop, ignoring the behavior, saying please, sharing, trading, waiting. Print them out and laminate or print them onto a cardstock and put them on a ring a binder ring. The child can then actually wear the problem-solving kit throughout the day, and then when they need it, it can be right there. So we've made them on the ring bracelets, the stretchy, I don't know the word for that. I'm sorry. On a stretchy band bracelet, and just putting it on a key ring that you can hang off of the bracelet, or on a lanyard that they can wear. So when they're looking for a solution, they have an options of right here of these cue cards. They can choose a solution from these options. You can also do this with the four cards, cue cards here as well. Close this off. Okay, so we have talked about the turtle technique. We've talked about using the story, and we've talked about the cue cards and some of the ways that we can use them. And then there are a few other things I just wanted to discuss before we sign off. So one of the things would be breathing techniques. There are also breathing technique cue cards available, or you can make your own, or discuss with your child what type of breathing activity they like to use. We have talked about those in our calming corner as well. Some of those were blowing on a feather, right? When we breathe in, the feather moves back, and when we blow out, the feather moves away. The key to deep breathing, and what we want to remember, is that we're taking a long breath and we're blowing out longer than we are breathing in, because we want to prevent hyperventilating, right? So we want to breathe in through the nose and out slowly through the mouth. So some other tips are using an imaginary hot chocolate, smelling the hot chocolate, thinking about how good it smells and it's nice and warm, and then blowing on the hot chocolate to cool the top off. That's a popular one. Also pretending to blow out candles. Again, remembering to have the child blowing out longer than they were breathing in, okay? And then there's finally another technique that they call the star breathing technique, which is S for smile, because it has been shown that forcing a smile can actually start to relax you, even if you're not smiling because you want to. So smiling, and then taking that deep breath and relaxing. So as they're taking the breath, we want them to breathe in through their nose and inflate their stomach so that their tummy is sticking out. Fill up that belly full of air, and then release the air right until the tummy is flat again. Okay, so we call that pushing out the belly. Yeah, S for smile, T for take a deep breath. I'm sorry, A for and. So smile, take a deep breath, and relax. Smile, take the deep breath, inflate the tummy, push the air out of your stomach, let your stomach come back flat, and relax. Star technique. Another one I like for deep breathing, if your child likes stretching as well, is the cow pose, if you're familiar with yoga at all. So having the bowed back and then hunching the back and taking breaths in coordination with that. So practicing breathing is important so that when the child does tuck to take their deep breaths, to think they are able to do those deep breathing, and it will be effective. And finally, I wanted to talk a little bit about a relaxation thermometer, or a thermometer of feelings. I'm going to just share the page again here. Oh, sorry about this. Okay. So the 5-point scale thermometer. So once the child is a little more used to tuning in to how they're feeling, we can talk about we can help them understand if they're good feelings or bad feelings by looking at this scale. And so at the bottom, we have green, I'm feeling great, all the way up to level 5, where we've lost control and we can't make good choices again. So on a thermometer, you're able to show you where they're feeling from top to bottom, right? This version here is a little larger and has the images for the child to be able to relate to, and they can choose from the color on the images, the color on the chart here, as to where they're feeling, how they're feeling. And the idea is that we want them to come from 5, where we've lost control and we can't make good choices, down to the 1 where they're feeling great, right? And they're making good choices. And the way that we can do that is with an exercise here. So I have, where is it? There it is. This thermometer here. Okay. That we can have the child thinking about, thinking about how they feel and how to get themselves relaxed from that feeling while you talk them through this activity. So this activity would consist of you telling the child, this card is a thermometer. The thermometer tells us how hot or cold something is. So down at the bottom, it's blue, it's cool. That's when we're feeling calm. Blue is like ice, and when we're not worked up, right? And up at the top, it's red. Red is like fire, that's hot. And that's how we feel when we're angry or we're frustrated. So if we look at this child on the bottom, see their face is relaxed. Their eyebrows are straight. Their mouth is smiling. This is blue. This is calm. This is happy. And this is how your face looks when you feel so calm. But this face at the top This child is not feeling calm or happy. See their face? See how their eyebrows are scrunched together? See how their eyes look angry? See how their mouth is tight? There's no smile there. This is red. This is hot emotions when we're feeling angry, frustrated. So now we're going to play a game. Pretend you are very calm. Take a deep breath and let it out. Relax your body. Bend forward a little and make your calm face. So this is where you are right now. Now we're going to pretend to get angry, upset, or frustrated. Pretend you're coloring and someone reaches over and crumples up your paper. You feel so angry, so mad. Let's stand up, tense up your body, make fists, bend forward a little, breathe in and out. Like you are so mad. We're getting redder and redder and redder, more and more mad. Now let's take our deep breaths and calm down. Big breath in, big breath out. We're starting to get a little calmer. We're starting to feel a little more relaxed. We're not all the way calm yet though. So let's make another deep breath and let it out. And we can see that we're calming down. And bit by bit, we're moving down the thermometer with every deep breath right until we're in the blue. So this is practice for the child to have those feelings of anger, frustration, upset, and taking the deep breaths to bring themselves down to the blue, to the bottom of their relaxation thermometer. So 2 versions of an emotions thermometer or a relaxation thermometer. One of the activities that we do as part of the Tucker Turtle program. I do hope that this information was helpful to you. And if ever you were interested in learning more about Tucker Turtle technique, would like to access any of the resources, or had any questions, please contact any of the early on practitioners, Oniva practitioners. We also have the Tucker Turtle program en français, and we would be happy to help out, or even run a full session of 5 or 6 weeks, 1 hour at a time, sessions with you and your child, or you and your group of children. Thank you so much for your time. Have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.